A Staunton judge granted a continuance in the case of Jeffrey Wayne Armentrout, the local towing company owner charged with misdemeanor reckless driving in the what they call a rolling coal incident at a political protest rally in Staunton on April 5th. Chris Graham here, Augusta Free Press. Somehow I'm not only a reporter in this case, but I'm the de facto prosecutor in this case. And if you can't tell that I'm really upset about a lot of things right now, you're missing something, I guess. All right, so what I'm not upset about is okay. The judge granted a continuance, and that was good. The case had been set for a trial on Friday morning. Less than 24 hours ago, the Stanton Commonwealth Attorney's Office notified me that it was not going to participate in the prosecution of this case, leaving it to me, a private citizen, because I'm the one who initiated the criminal complaint. This is just the weirdest thing. I've talked about this yesterday, written about this the last couple of days. Citing the short notice, Judge Robin J. Mayer agreed to continue the case to August 12th. So, in a related development, it was pointed out to me that this Jeffrey Wayne Armentrout guy had updated his personal Facebook page back on July 13th, so over the weekend, to replace the cover photo on his personal Facebook page with a photo of me. And the photo of me in question was a selfie I'd taken when I was at the College World Series last year in Omaha, when I was in the press box. I'm smiling. I'm looking at the photo right now. He's since updated his personal page to take that photo down and also take the photo completely off his page. Screenshots are forever though, bud. So got him. You're trying to intimidate me. I guess. I mean, what else are you doing there, right? It didn't work. Didn't work. Um, I can't say that that's the same for the folks in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office though. I mean, I get it. This Armentrout guy could be a bad guy. He's facing another hearing. So this is Friday when I'm recording this. He's facing another hearing on Monday, 3 days from now, in Harrisonburg, Rockingham General District Court, on three pointing, brandishing of firearm charges. So yeah, this is a dude, right? I mean, he's 5'5", 120 pounds, but you give a guy a gun and you can be a bad guy. Dealing with bad guys should come with the territory when you sign up to be a prosecutor. Whatever the reason is, though, the office there in Stanton not prosecuting this case that involving the April 5th attempt to intimidate from this Armentrout guy, basically treating it like it's a civil complaint. Like I'm just a guy who's upset with my neighbor over the property line or something. That's not the case. This is a criminal case. The hands-off treatment was at the point that no one from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office was physically in the courtroom when this case was called. Just cowards. I'm just saying it. Cowards. Cowards. The whole system in Stanton are full of cowards. To be clear, I am just an eyewitness in this case, and it's just because I was standing on the sidewalk in front of the Augusta County Courthouse at around 12:40 p.m. on the afternoon of April 5th, a Saturday. A few feet away from me at around 12:40 p.m., a 2000 Ford F-350 with neo-Nazi insignia on the front bumper was idling at a stoplight at the intersection of Johnson Street and Augusta Street. After the light turned green, the driver blew a tower of smoke through a modified smokestack. That's what they call rolling coal. It's what people who don't like climate change being brought to their attention like to do to say, oh, yeah, have a climate change here. Um, this is something these guys do. They put these things in their truck, they push a button, smoke flies up, and then he drove at a high rate of speed. His tires were squealing as he goes to the intersection, a few feet away from me and a couple dozen other people at least. We're at risk. I mean, this guy loses control slightly at this with this burnout and everything else he's doing. Who knows what happens, right? A Stanton Police Department cruiser was at the intersection. I physically saw it. I chased him down because the police cruiser initiated a pursuit. It went about a block. They wrapped around, came back to the wharf parking lot. I went and took a picture of the interaction. It's on the story on the website. And I found out later that the police department, the police officer in question, just issued a verbal warning. I best slap, slap, don't do that again. Don't recklessly drive through an intersection again with a lot of people standing right there. Next time, if you run anybody over, we might have to arrest you. I guess we're gonna find out because now I'm gonna either the police are gonna work with me or I'm gonna have to FOIA information to prosecute this case. But we're gonna get the information. The Staunton police are equipped with body cams. I have to, I'm going to assume until they tell me that something happened, either they weren't turned on or they were erased, that we'll have access to what was actually said in that interaction. Can't wait to find that out if we get to find it out. But I was told by a police department spokesperson, also by email, that the officer only gave a warning because the officer did not witness any reckless driving himself. Okay, that's great. I don't know how you missed it. We have video. Okay. The spokesperson also noted in email that the driver had been identified at least, so they did have the name. And quote, anyone who witnessed him spinning tires can obtain a reckless driving summons on him if they want to by coming to the police department and going before the magistrate. So okay, we did that. I say we did that. I did that. Uh, you know, didn't think about doing it at first, but as we were reporting on the story, there were people commenting on our Facebook page, "Hey, somebody needs to do something about this." Okay, somebody's got to be me, I guess, because who else going to do it? Um, no one else did do it. We did post to our Facebook page after getting that note from the police department. All right, we put on the Facebook page. Anybody who has photos or video that could be helpful. Anybody who has anything to share. We got a lot of stuff. We got some videos. We got some photos. It's all of it helpful. Um, so after collecting all this, again, I didn't want to be this guy. I've got a lot going on to not have to be a police investigator too. I got a real job. But went to the magistrate, went to the police department, filed out a complaint. That led me to a video conference with a magistrate on April 15th. To my surprise, the magistrate actually said, "Yeah, I think there's enough evidence here to hold over." I say only by my surprise because to this point the system had been working against justice in this case. So okay, so issue an arrest warrant. To me, that's my participation in the case. I'm a private citizen. Only after the PD declined to do any investigation did I do an investigation, and I wouldn't call it an investigation. We put something on Facebook. People sent me stuff. I collected it, went to the police department. Um, at this point, my assumption on April 16th, and then I got a subpoena on May 2nd to appear in court today, July 18th. So that was 2.5 months ago. My assumption is this is how the system works. The Commonwealth Attorney's Office is now in their hands. What they do is I put a case together, right? I don't know how they do their job. I've never shadowed a Commonwealth attorney, assistant Commonwealth attorney, anything like that. But my assumption would be, hey, we'll contact Mr. Graham in this case. He's the one who went to the magistrate. We'll get his evidence. He had two videos and a photo. He's been in contact with eyewitnesses. Maybe he'll give us some of those people, and then we'll do our job, and then we'll also work with the police department. We'll contact the police officer who initiated the stop. We'll call that person to be part of this July 18th trial because we need to place Mr. Armentrout at the scene. This police officer will be able to do that. This police officer did witness something, whether this officer witnessed in this person's mind reckless driving, witnessed something, and then you start there. You show a picture to show the proximity to all the people who were there. Pretty clear. This is what convinced the magistrate. You show the video, which shows the car taking or the truck taking off at a high rate of speed. You can hear the tires squealing. And that's the case. Whether or not a judge then determines that Mr. Armentrout's guilty is up to the judge. But that's the case. Simple case. This should take 10 minutes. Commonwealth Attorney's Office didn't do any of that. And they didn't even tell me this. I mean, I'm waiting to hear. I'm assuming that maybe there was already one continuance in this case. Um, Sometime there was a court date sometime in late May, I believe. But that had originally been placed and it was delayed till July 18th. I might be missing on that detail, but I know there was another court date scheduled before the July 18th court date. Um, Nobody reaches out to me. My assumption is they're dropping the ball. I've got another job, an actual job that pays me money, not being a volunteer police investigator and volunteer prosecutor. Um, so finally, Wednesday night, I start trying to track down who's in charge of this. And the Commonwealth Attorney office in Staunton does not have. They're not easy to get in touch with. They have a phone number. So I wanted to email somebody because I wanted to be able to I don't know, just be able to find out who it was. I don't know who I'm calling if I'm calling. Who's responsible for Friday, etc. So police department did help me there. Got me in touch with the assistant Commonwealth attorney in question who would be in charge of today's case. This person at first asked me for the evidence that I had collected in going to the magistrate, which is interesting to me. Why not ask for this 2.5 months ago? Um, I do that yesterday morning. Yesterday afternoon, get an email back. I declined to participate in this case. You'll have to handle this on your own. I have not heard of this ever happening before. I mean, there must be a must work because I was in court today and that's what they did. But I've never. This is something I've not considered even a remote possibility that I would be responsible for prosecuting a case. I followed the directions. Went today. Um, the only thing I felt I could do, because I felt like as I'm driving to Stanton, I mean, I've got another job, right? So what kind of time can I put into this? I'm driving to Stanton today, and that 20-minute drive, I'm thinking the one thing I'm missing is I need the police officer to be able to say, I stopped Mr. Armentrout and I saw him at the scene, because otherwise I could get Armentrout up on the stand and he would say, no, it wasn't me. What can I do? What can I say? Okay, it wasn't you. No, okay. So I need at least that. And I don't even know the name of the officer because I am not an investigator. I am not a prosecutor. So I'm hopeful that I can, convince the judge. It might not be fair to Mr. Armentrout because he's been waiting 2.5 months on this, but it's certainly not fair to the Commonwealth, not to me because I'm just a dude. But it's not fair to the Commonwealth that, a magistrate felt like there was enough evidence to hold this over for trial. And then because the Commonwealth decided not to participate in the trial, this person would walk away without even a hearing on the charges. So, I mean, I didn't say, certainly didn't say that many words to the judge. I just presented that I was only informed 24 hours ago that I'm now the prosecutor. Could you please give us continuance? The opposing counsel certainly did his job. I mean, he tried to make it out like I should have done something 2.5 months ago to initiate this. That's not my job. I wasn't elected to be the Commonwealth attorney in Stanton. I don't live in Stanton. I'm not an employee of the office. I'm not an employee of the Stanton Police Department. I am just a dude. But so I understand. I'm not holding any grudge there. That's your job as an attorney is to vigorously work on behalf of your client. But yeah, the judge said, okay, give you 30 days. Actually, judge offered 45 or 60. I don't think all I need is to get the name of the police officer, to get a subpoena for that police officer to be there, and get whatever may exist in terms of a recording of the interaction that this police officer would have had with Mr. Armour on April 5th. We're ready to go. I mean, at that point, it's here's the evidence, guilty or not guilty. That's it. Um, I have never met this guy. I mean, this guy who put my picture up on his Facebook page later took it down, trying to intimidate me. I've never met this guy. I don't know who he is. I would not have heard his name or thought about this man if he hadn't driven by me and a large group of people at a high and dangerous rate of speed at a political protest rally. Um, a couple, 3 months ago now, right? And I don't, I don't have any, I certainly can't have a personal grudge against somebody I don't know. Um, To me, though, people who threaten other people's free speech, which it seems is pretty obvious what this guy was trying to do. He's driving around in a big truck with a smokestack that itself is illegal, with a neo-Nazi bumper sticker, not illegal, free speech for him, but it tells us where he's thinking. And he's driving through a protest site, doing what he did at the time that he did it. He's trying to intimidate people. And he could have hurt people. He could have easily lost control of that vehicle. We were only a few feet away, and he could have plowed into a crowd of people, hurt some people, killed some people. He could have. I'm not saying, he could have. It boggles my mind that the Stanton Police Department didn't want to investigate this. It boggles my mind that the Stanton Commonwealth Attorney's Office didn't want to do its job here either. I mean, come on. I got to be the prosecutor? I don't want to do this job either. The defendant in this case is trying to threaten me. This guy's going to go before another judge in 3 days to face a pointing, brandishing a firearm charge. Um, I'm not going to pretend it didn't cross my mind something bad can happen here. I don't want to, but why is this guy putting my picture up on his Facebook page and saying I'm a hater? He's trying to justify something there, it seems to me. Um, I'm not going to pretend I'm some brave guy who doesn't care. I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to back down either. I mean, I believe fervently that you can't let people bully you from doing what is the right thing. So we're going to take a stand here, win or lose. And I hope that I can, if nothing else, you know, we can show other people that we don't have to take the bullying that we're getting right now.